Hello everybody and welcome to another session of Scuba Talk with Scuba Dave. This week we're going to talk about dive knives and when we should take them, when we shouldn't take them, and the type of knives that we should probably take. As we begin to talk about the dive knives, I just want to let everybody know that I'm not here to say whether or not you should take a dive knife on your dives or not. And I'm not here to tell you what dive knife you should take. I'm only giving you my opinion on the dive knives that I have and I take with me. And I'll point out some features to the knife, some things I don't like about on the knives. And it's up to you to decide what you want to do, okay? The type of dive knives you want to take and when you want to take them. When I first started diving, I bought my very first dive knife, and this is it. And I was real excited, hey, I got a dive knife. I just finished my open water class, and I was able to get a dive knife and take it with me on dives. And I had seen other people when I was diving, and these guys had big, like Jim Bowie knives strapped on the inside of their leg. And I gotta be honest with you, I don't know when I would need a big dive knife like that. I've been diving a lot, but maybe there's areas I haven't dove yet, and so I just don't know. So, but the size of dive knife you want to take, they are strictly up to you, okay? Again, I'm only giving you my perspective on the areas that I dive around here, and I live in Southern California, okay? So, with that being said, this was my first dive knife. I still have it. It's even got some rust on it. I don't use it anymore. It sits in a drawer, just collecting rust. But this was my first one, and I thought it was pretty cool because of the way it locked in. Okay, you have to push the button here. There's like a little release, and you can pull the dive knife out. Okay, it's got two little like catches or molded plastic on each side that lock into this plastic, which forms the lock. Okay, and you can pull pretty hard, and it's not going to come out. So you're not going to lose it on a dive. I have seen guys take dives similar to this one, and they lose them because they'll pull out real easy. The locking mechanism isn't very strong, and they'll pull it out, or they'll hit something, and the knife will just fall out. Okay, so when you look at your dive knives, when you're considering whether or not you want to buy one, take one with you, things to think about. On this one, I loved everything about it. That's why I bought it, and it was pretty cheap. I'll be honest with you. I think I only paid like $10, $12 for this dive knife. But after I got using it for a little while, I thought about the point. How it's got a point. I know that's a big debate. Some people say, don't get a knife with a point on it. Some people say, a point's okay. You just have to be careful. And that's true with any knife. You got to be careful. But for me, I didn't want the point anymore because with the surge down there, you get going or something, you can stick your own hand, or you can even maybe cut a hose. If this, I've seen people do it, they put these on the BCD inflator hose, and here they are trying to hit that thing. They're going to hit their hand if the surge catches them just right, or their judgment is off a little bit, maybe get a little water in their mask, right? Or maybe they stick the inflate hose, right? So that's one reason why I stopped using this one. It did come with the holes where you can buy the elastic straps, and you can put it around your leg, okay? That's another thing I wanted to talk about too, location. I like my dive knife on my upper body area. I used to put this down around my ankle, on my leg, and I would always put it on the inside of my leg. Now, You're going to hear people tell you, put it on the outside, put it on the inside. You can put it wherever you want, okay? I recommend putting your dive knife on the inside of your leg, and here's why. If this is your leg, okay, this is your leg. This is the inside, that's the outside, okay? And if I get caught in kelp up in my shoulder area and I'm kind of pinned in it, okay, I'm not very flexible anymore, okay? I'm getting up in age and I'm just not very flexible. So if I had to try to lift my leg all the way up to where my arms could grab it with my wetsuit on or my dry suit, that's going to be pretty difficult for me, okay? So I always like to put it, you know, I do sometimes put it on the inflate hose. Sometimes I put it zip ties, and I'll zip tie it to a D-ring, okay? Somewhere where it's up here to where if I get pinned, I can kind of grab it, okay? And now I've got the knife to try to do what I can do. Or it's up in here to where I can have my buddy grab the dive knife to help get me out whatever I need, okay? So that was my first knife. And then I bought this one a few years later, and I really liked it. And why I bought it, had basically the same mechanism, okay? Basically, same size knife, not a whole lot of differences, other than, okay, you pull it out, and I don't know how much the video is going to see, but it's got a curved top on it. It doesn't have the pointy tip on it. And I like how it's got the serrated edges there, okay, to help out. And so that's why I bought this knife, because it has the curved tip, okay? So, you know, if you're looking for a knife, you might say, hey, that's a pretty good idea, okay? So that's up to you. I'm just showing you basically what I have and what's out there. What, you know, food for thought, right? Okay. This will get you through kelp, cut fishing line. The only thing I wish this knife had was the fish hook, you know, to where I can cut through the fish hook and get the fish hook removed. I wish this knife had it. It doesn't, okay? So that was my second knife. And then I wanted a little bit bigger knife. Why, I don't know. I never used it. But I went and I got this one. It was on sale. It was pretty cheap. I think I paid, I don't know, $20 for it, maybe $30. I really don't remember. But what I did like about it is how it locks in there. It locks in really good. Push button to release it. It's got both sides, okay, serrated, and the other side has a blunt tip on it, and it had the fish hook, okay. I'm hoping the video picks it up. It's got the fish hook where I can remove it, okay. I wore this dive knife, when I started wreck diving. Going down the rope that's attached to the balls that the boat hooks up to. You know, a lot of people fish near wrecks, and their lines get caught in those lines all the time, and you're coming down, and if you're not paying attention, you're going to get a fish hook right in your hand. And I kind of leave a little loose. I don't grab real tight, and hopefully I watch every time when I go down that line, right? So this time I started taking this knife, and when I'd find a fish hook, I was able to get it out, break it out, cut it out. So the next person, whether above me or dives after me, they don't come down and get that fish hook. It's not a fun feeling getting that fish hook. And this one, of course, I had the leg straps on it, and I'd always strap it to the inside of my leg. And this one I'll still carry with me every once in a while when I'm diving the wrecks. Okay. Well, then years later, I ended up buying a new BCD, and with the BCD came a dive knife, and it had grommulets on the side of the BCD, where the knife comes with the grommulet screws. Okay. Nice sheath. When you squeeze the handle here, the dive knife comes out, okay? What I liked about that is, one, it mounts right here on the side of the BCD. It's always there, not going to move, and I didn't have to jury rig it, zip tie it, or anything. It has an actual place for it. Okay. And then the other part I like, it's got both edges of a knife. It's got the blunt tip, and it's nice and compact. Okay. I can cut kelp with this if I need to get out of kelp. I can cut fishing line with it. I can remove hooks with it. And it's a pretty good dive knife. And you know, days I feel like I need to take a knife with me, this one will always go because it has a spot right in my BCD. And it clips in there pretty good. And it's like everything that I tell everybody when we're gearing up, right? When you put your weight pouches in, if you have the ditchable weights, when you put them in, I always say if you can hear the click, right? When the weight goes in, it's locked. If you don't hear the click, it's not locked in there. Same with this type of dive knife, okay? When you put it in, if you hear that click, it's locked in there. It's not coming out, okay? So you're not going to lose it. And it seemed to be a pretty good knife, okay? Just like the other one, this is a different one I had found actually, and I hung on to it, and I took and I hooked a little clip to it, and clipped it into a D-ring, so it was there. Anytime my buddy or somebody says, "Oh, I wish I would have brought a knife," here you go, I'll let you use this one if you want it. And so that's what they use. Pretty good knife. Again, it's like the very first one I bought. Okay, pulls out, blunt tip. Now the first one I bought was a pointed, right? And this one's a blunt, right? So they make them in both, whichever one you want. Okay. So that's just the type of knives I use, and that's what I wanted to share with everybody. I'd be interested in knowing what type of dive knife you carry. You know, if you carry a big one, and why you carry a big one. You know, the areas where you live or you dive quite a bit probably call for a big one. So down below in the comments, let me know what kind of dive knife you carry and what size of dive knife you take and why. I'd be interested in knowing. But if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, click the bell, and subscribe to the channel if you like these videos. It's greatly appreciated. And so for Scuba Talk, this is Scuba Dave. We just want to let you know to keep diving, have fun, and be safe.